van Rembrandt van Rijn het middelpunt van een moordcomplot. Midden in het Rembrandtjaar is de Britse regisseur, schrijver en kunstenaar Peter Greenaway, onder meer bekend van The Cook, The Thief, His Wife and Her Lover, de enige die als het ware met zijn vingers aan die nachtwacht mag zitten. En op eigentijdse wijze zijn verhaal vertelt achter dat schilderij. Alje Kamphuis ging op stap met deze culturele duizendpoot in het Rijksmuseum na sluitingstijd.
The worst thing you can do to a painting is hang it on a wall, because within 3 days everybody's forgotten it. So there's a particular, I suppose the brief here is to make people to look at this painting again.
Regisseur, theatermaker, schrijver, componist, schilder. Peter Greenaway is het allemaal. Een kunstenaar. Geboren in Engeland, studeert met popzanger Ian Dury. Greenaway breekt door met de cultfilm The Cook, The Thief, His Wife and Her Lover. Is 64 jaar en woont in Nederland.
I've worked here for about 20 years. Still don't speak any Dutch. So I'm probably, you know, the one person that female politician would wish to have desperately changed.
Hij mag nu spelen met de nachtwacht.
It'll be temporary. People needn't worry about it. It can all go back to the way it's actually normally presented. But just for 2 months, let's find another way to innervate and excite this extraordinary milestone of Western culture.
En er valt een dode. Asperen, de Betuwe. Hier waarschuwt Greenaway ons voor een naderende vloedgolf. Op een oud fort bouwt hij de Ark van Noach. In het fort pakken de bewoners hun koffers om te vertrekken. Het is een van zijn kunstprojecten die deze zomer in Nederland te zien zijn.
There are so many animals that Mr. Noah, who's in charge, keeps forgetting what he has. So he's written up on the wall all the things which are relevant to his care and protection.
Water, lucht. Het zijn de elementen die Greenaway intrigeren, waarmee hij opgroeide. En waar de Hollandse meesters zich zo verwant mee voelden.
For a long time I used to live in East Anglia, Norfolk and Suffolk, and parts of Bedfordshire, which is as close as you can get to a Dutch landscape without crossing the English Channel. So I'm very familiar with those long flat horizons. You know, the definition of a Dutch painting is 2/3 sky and 1/3 land. And myself and my brother were dragged across all these marshes and wetlands by my father in gumboots with a pair of binoculars trained to our eyes. 6/10 of the world's surface is covered in water. Our bodies are 7/10 made up of water. And it's so incredibly photogenic. You know, it exists as ice, as steam, as icebergs. It's just very fascinating to be able to reflect and catch light. And I suppose a filmmaker's job is all about light and refraction and reflection. And it's a very dangerous medium too. You know, you can drown very easily. So it's, as they say, a terrifying master, but a magnificent servant.
Het Rijksmuseum, 11 uur 's avonds. De beveiliging begeleidt Greenaway naar zijn werkplek, de Nachtwacht. Hier is vanaf vandaag het project Nightwatching te zien. Via een ingenieus computerprogramma laat Greenaway zijn licht op de Nachtwacht schijnen. Letterlijk en figuurlijk. Met licht, film, tekst en geluid komen de 34 personen op het meesterwerk tot leven.
Nothing ever happens in this painting by accident. It's not a happy snap. It's not a Polaroid. It doesn't contain any information that Rembrandt didn't want to put there. So the placement, the coloring, the composition is all significant. Rembrandt is regarded as being the master of light, the instigator of light. And what is cinema? It is light throwing shadows on a white screen. So if the cinema is based upon the single moment of time and space, and it's all recreated by light, what is Rembrandt doing? Rembrandt is almost reinventing the cinema before the 20th of December 1895, when the very first Lumiere projections were thrown at the world. So it makes him a proto-cineast.
Spelen met de nachtwacht. Het is niet voor het eerst dat Greenaway tegen een heilig huisje aanschopt.
What is cinema? It's a group of people sitting in the dark. What the fuck are they doing sitting in the dark? Man's not a nocturnal animal, all looking in one direction, but the world's all around you, and also sitting still. Cinema is a past tense medium. Every time you see sinking of the Titanic, it's the same. I want to create a sort of sinking of the Titanic that every time you see it, it's different. Cinema is dead, long live cinema. We've got to find a way to reinvent it.
De traditionele cinema heeft Greenaway al lang geleden vaarwel gezegd. Hier in Eindhoven monteert hij live een van zijn films. Door het aanraken van een plasmascherm kan hij de volgorde van verschillende scènes bepalen. Een DJ zorgt voor een live soundtrack.
Maybe the finger has become a brush. The brush is now a finger. So there's instantaneous, real-time rapport. Can you imagine what Rembrandt would have done with that?
Ook bij Nightwatching speelt beeld en geluid een essentiële rol. Uitgangspunt is het schot dat op de nachtwacht wordt gelost. Volgens Greenaway wordt er een moord gepleegd. De nachtwacht als whodunit.
Am I inventing this? I don't think so. There's a way in which Rembrandt is presenting us with all this information. And he wants us to read it. Let me repeat again. Rembrandt is no slouch. Anything he wants to paint, he's going to paint well and significantly. So I think all the signs and all the symbols and all the clues in this CSI, this crime scene investigation, are there to be investigated. You said you found some exciting suitcases somewhere, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, like the fossils we had in Compton Verney. It's very nice, I think.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to put it in in one of the rooms up there.
Oh, sure.
Greenaway speelt graag met de realiteit. Dat geldt ook voor het ARC-project in Asperen.
We all know global warming. The ice caps are melting. The water is on its way. So we're going to have to cope with it. So in an ironic way, I suggest that here, at Fort Asperen, is an ideal epicenter. This area has been used to dealing with flood for at least 200 years. And I always like that idea that Holland, in times of danger, flood their own country. It's the story of the little boy in the dike, of course, but this time in reverse.
Greenaway is zowat vergroeid met Nederland. Zijn vloedgolf zou ook een metafoor kunnen zijn voor wat ons land de afgelopen jaren doormaakte.
I've spoken to many journalists who say, oh, you know, Holland's finally going down the drain. Holland's going to be like the rest of us. Holland is just as uncivilized as the rest of the world. Rubbish. That's not true at all. Holland is the wise old man of Europe, I've always thought. You know, you've had an ability, I suppose because you've had to, because this sense of consolidation against the sea, you have to have a sense of community, because a singular person or even a family can't build a dam on their own. It requires everybody to come together to make a real communal democratic effort to do these big public works. I think you just simply need to polish up the old identity and hang on to the principles and just continue to move forward. Don't go to sleep though. Keep it up.
Bij het nachtwachtproject vallen Rembrandt en Greenaway samen. Greenaway kan weer een beetje schilderen. En Rembrandt wordt de theatermaker die Greenaway al altijd in hem zag.
There are red plush curtains, there's a tribune, there are 34 seats, the same number of people as exists in the painting. So you can sit there and view the Nightwatch as an act of theatre. And if you feel so excited, you can give it a clap as though it was a live performance, because it is a deeply theatrical, stagey event, which I would suggest has been made by a man who is probably certainly as much interested in the theatre as he has in painting.
Een prachtige man, deze Peter Greenaway. De informatie uit deze uitzending, dames en heren, vindt u op onze website. Dit was Netwerk voor vanavond. Maandag zijn we bij u terug. Dank voor het kijken. Goedenavond.